includes modifying the activity description for an existing activity for Family Promise. The commissioners previously awarded $118,935 to Family Promise to make renovations to their existing facility, which they lease. Due to the presence of lead paint, they're required to abate, and so the rehabilitation costs far exceed the budget for the activity, and so they're looking at purchasing a new facility in the Illinois, New Cumberland area. They were recently awarded a PHFA Realty Transfer Tax grant to aid in the acquisition and some light rehabilitation of a new facility that may not include lead abatement. So we are recommending adding the acquisition of a new facility to the project description. The modifications have been out for public comment for 30 days, and to date we've not received any comments. So I would ask that you provide any feedback or comments at this time.
Are there any questions for Kate?
No.
Any comments? Anyone in the room have any questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, public hearing is closed. Thank you, Kate.
Welcome everybody to the Cumberland County Commissioners Workshop meeting of May 18, 2017. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We call this meeting to order at 9:04 and open the floor to public comment. Hearing and seeing none, we move on to item number 3 on today's agenda, the discussion of resolution 2017-17 regarding budget adjustments. Dana, take it away.
The first requested resolution is the general fund increasing revenues and expenses by $1,107,906. And this is to increase the transfer to the state for the IGT agreement. During the budget, we budgeted based on what the transfer was last year, and that was $3.1 million, and this is the difference. And then the next two are related to the voice over IP project and the capital lease. The general fund is increasing revenues by $1.2 million and expenses by $485,000. This increase budgetary fund balance by $717,000. We're required to book the lease payment. We actually budgeted to spend the full $1 million in the first year. The cash impact is $240,532 for the lease payment and $42,000 for final expenses that are not included in the lease purchase. And the sinking fund is also increasing revenues and expenses by $240,532, and that's the lease payment.
Any questions for Dana? Dana, thank you. Move on to item number 4. Well, once again, we call on Kate Molinaro. Discussion of revisions to the county's community development block grant program.
I would just ask that the commissioners consider approving the recommended modification to the 2016 CPG budget discussed during the public hearing.
Any questions for Kate?
No.
Kate, is this something that can wait till Monday? Or do you want an
Yes,
action
Monday's
plan?
fine. No, Monday's fine.
All right. Well, thank you, Kate.
Thank you.
I'd like to turn it over now to Sandy Moore for contracts and
Thank you, Larry. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to begin with agenda item 5, Roman numeral 1, A through D, which are existing contracts, extensions, or amendments with no additional cost or increase to the county for the following departments: adult probation, children and youth, CNRC, weights and measures. Commissioners, do you have any questions, comments, or concerns regarding any of the above-mentioned agreements? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to agenda item 5, Roman numeral 2, consisting of new contracts, vendors, services, grants, and contracts with increases and decreases to the county. And begin by calling on Sandy Ferrari, who is joining us today to discuss the agreement between Aging and Community Services and the Pennsylvania Department of Aging. Sandy?
Thank you. Yes, good morning. This is a memorandum of understanding with the Department of Aging, a prize program, and our agency serving as the Pennsylvania Link Fiscal Agency for Service Area 9. We're required to do this under our cooperative agreement with Aging. It's MIPA grant monies, Medicare funds being distributed to 2 under 60 provider agencies to be used for outreach and education for Medicare beneficiaries, ensuring that they're utilizing all benefits that are available to them, such as the low income subsidy and Medicare savings programs.
Question?
There's no general fund money.
No,
This
this
is
is
free. Okay.
just a grant pass-through kind of thing.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Agenda item number B, this agenda item was tabled at the May 4th, 2017 meeting. So commissioners, you will need to make a motion to take it off the table. And then Dana Keating will be discussing the RSP Management LLC lease agreement.
I'll make a motion to remove from the table.
There's a, excuse me, motion to remove from the table. Is there a second? We have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Morning. So this is the lease for the West Shore office for victim services. Essentially, what we've been able to do is move within the same building to a smaller location within the building, saving approximately $15,000 as a result. So,
Thank you,
Okay,
Jane.
thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on Beth Tornak to discuss the 2 ERP agreements. Beth?
Morning. Following 2 contracts are in association with the capital project for the loss and upgrade that was presented last meeting. The first one is for RPI consultants to certified loss and installers. And that contract is for $45,150 not to exceed. It's a time and material contract. The second contract is with Infor and is to purchase the software that's required in order to be compliant, and that contract is for $22,502.
Any questions for Beth?
Yeah, there's a note on one of these documents that says this is not to exceed contract.
Correct.
What are you talking about?
That is the consulting contract with RPI. They quote us a amount of hours, and then they quote us a dollar amount for those hours. And they only bill for what they use. They do not bill for the whole thing.
Gotcha, thank you.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on Mark, who is here to discuss the agreement between IMTO and the Land and Public Financial LLC. Mark?
Good morning, Commissioners. This is the 5-year lease agreement for the Cisco Voice over IP Unified Communication System. The total of the contract is $1.2 million and change. The annual payments that we spoke of are $240,531.92.
Any questions for Mark? Thank you, Mark. Next, I'd like to call on Sue Carabell, who will be discussing an agreement for MHIDD for fiscal year 2016-17 for intellectual and developmental disabilities with Avis Healthcare Inc. doing business as Avis Home Care. Sue?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. This contract is an increase of $2,307 for a client who needs additional services. These are all state dollars, which makes the contract total now $5,307.
Any questions for Sue? Thank you, Sue. Okay, Commissioners, the summary has been provided to you for the HRG right-of-way Cumberland Bridge. It was provided by Kirk prior to the workshop. Do you have any questions or concerns regarding this information?
Just for the record, Keith, you reviewed that, and that's fine.
I have, and it's fairly standard. Done it many times before.
Thank you.
Hearing none, that's all we have, Mary.
Well, thank you, Sam. We'll move on into item number 6, discussion of capital project request. Call on DA Freed to talk about the purchase of the printer copier replacement at a total cost of $17,528.64.
Jamie's done the legwork on this, so
Great delegation.
So we, this is the printer that's in the appellate division that they don't even make anymore. It's breaking down on a daily basis now. Before it was every other day, now it's every day. And we're calling IMTO. So it's essentially the recommendation from our IMTO is to go to the printer that has the printing capacity, that the same in front office and the back office, and it's the same lease that covers everything else as well.
Mark, any comments on that?
Yep, just trying to be as efficient as possible and not burn money on trying to repair old junk.
And I don't even think they have parts for it anymore.
Okay, so we're talking euthanasia here for this push and pull machine.
A quiet burial, I think, is what we're looking
And
at.
we've been pleased with the upgrades in the front and back office with the printer copier combination. Been working really well.
How old is this thing?
In Bell,
It was there when I started, Peel's, about 20 years ago, so. It's good for people, not so good for printers, so
The first Roosevelt administration, as in,
Teddy, yeah. We won't ask to replace the abacus though, so that's still working very fine.
So the older machine was a step up from mimeograph, things like that?
Yes, but it doesn't smell as good, yeah, so.
all right, any questions on that one?
So what happens to this relic, if you will? Is this go out to our electronic recycling facility? And you know that's 50 cents a pound.
It's very light. I'm willing to carry it too, so.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 7. Commissioner DeFilippo, Cumberland County MHIDD recommends reappointment of Michael Chambers, Kevin Kapp, Alicia Emmenheiser, and Dusty McMillan for 3-year terms effective September 1st, 17, expiring August 31st, 2020. And approval will be on Monday, the 22nd.
Right, I really don't have anything to add to what you just said. Other than the MHIDD Advisory Board at their April 20th meeting requested these folks to be reappointed.
These are all good people.
Yes.
Yeah, let me just add as the liaison there, I think every one of these people has virtually perfect attendance record, and they're all very active participants. So I think it's a very good crew, and look forward to voting on it on Monday.
Yep. Thanks, Gary.
All right, move on to item number 8, again, Commissioner DeFilippo with another reappointment for the Cumberland County Children, Youth, Citizens Advisory Committee. That would be Mary Bloom for reappointment for a 3-year period effective July 1, 2017, and expiring June 30th, 2020. Approval again on Monday, the 22nd.
Correct request, excuse me, is coming from the Citizens Advisory Board Nomination Committee via memo from Nikki McElroy. So we will proceed unless there's any objection.
Any questions or comments on that one? Thank you, Commissioner. Next, we're on to Commissioner Liaison reports, and we'll start off with Chairman DeFilippo.
Thank you. All right, I'll first start with, excuse me. All right, Cumberland County Library System, the Children's Literacy Grant from the Whitaker Center was received. 350 new books were purchased, and activity tables were distributed to all libraries. Regarding online services, public internet computers have been replaced at all libraries. We've got some good news on online payment and fees based on customer feedback and careful consideration of financial ramifications. The minimum amount needed was removed in order to make online credit card payments, giving credit card holders with fines 24-hour access to remove the suspension. And a Wi-Fi hotspots survey is underway. Libraries are actively evaluating the Wi-Fi loaning program using paper and using online surveys. Promoting library services. Our new director attended the 2017 ALA Library Legislative Training and Visits. She was Carolyn Blasky was able to get in last minute, and she attended training on speaking with elected officials, mentors, visited Washington offices of Senators Casey and Toomey, and U.S. Reps Barletta, Scott Perry, and Bill Schuster. Also want to report that the LSTA grant reports were submitted. I believe that's the main items for the library system. Also attended the local emergency planning committee meeting, which was on May 11th. The big item taken from that meeting was there appears to be an increase in the avian flu epidemic. No reports of any cases in Pennsylvania yet, but for 2015, the state of Iowa lost 50% of its laying egg population. And Cumberland County, Lancaster County they have some big agricultural business in the egg business, so we're going to keep an eye out on that. And it's kind of scary, to be honest with you, but hopefully nothing will develop. Western Council of Governments, I'd like to report that it was announced Cumberland County has $250,000 available for land partnership grant funding. Also at the meeting is provided that we are moving forward in our public safety radio system project. Some updates on some particular townships. Dickinson Township has budgeted funds for 2018, and that is to include updating their township's comprehensive plan. Lower Frankfort Township, which reported that the second phase of the Sunoco Mariner East pipeline has begun. In Penn Township, it was mentioned that they had one of their supervisors resign at their April meeting. I don't know if the position is filled or not. And that's it for Western Council of Governments. For Drug and Alcohol Commission, May 4th meeting, the advisory board's public meeting was preceded by a work session, which board members reviewed requests for information packets submitted by our locally based service providers. Each of the provider agencies provided a brief overview of their agency and the substance abuse services they provide to Cumberland and Perry County residents. The primary focus of our public meeting was a series of recommendations from administrative staff for fiscal year 2017-2018 on provider contracts. New contract year begins July 1. These recommendations were all approved by the advisory board and can be found in the packets that the commissioners get. And they will be presented to the Board of Commissioners in an upcoming workshop. Public meeting also included discussion of the state budget for 2017-2018. As we all know, the negative impact of House Bill 218 would have on criminal justice and community service systems was highly emphasized. Commission is sponsoring a full-day addiction interaction disorder training on May 24th. Overlap of different kinds of addictions will be described along with consideration of how cross addictions can contribute to relapse. No charge for this training, registration is required. And Larry, that's all for me.
Any questions or comments? Mr. DeCoursol. Thank you. Commissioner Herzog.
Okay, thank you, Larry. On Friday, May 5th, I joined Tim Whalen, Executive Director of Housing and Redevelopment Authority, in a meeting with Congressman Perry at his Warmlingsburg office, and hand-delivered the letter that we had approved the day before with respect to our concern regarding the President's proposed budget, which would totally eliminate funding for community development block grants, not only in our county but throughout the nation, and reduce funding in several other areas affecting housing assistance and redevelopment. Congressman Perry suggested that the President's budget, just a starting point, and but Tim and I also advised the Congressman that the President's proposal is already having an impact regarding the level of federal funding as being allocated by the Housing Urban Development Administration for the Housing Choice Voucher Program that provides rental assistance to approximately 1,300 low-income senior citizens, disabled, and working families. On Wednesday evening, May 10, Commissioner Eichelberger and I attended the First Responder Emergency Services Action Panel meeting at the Public Safety Building. There was a presentation by Todd Lease of the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission on the subject of the creation in Pennsylvania of a traffic incident management program, similar to what many other states in the nation have, that would provide training, embrace best practices, and improve safety of first responders following accidents, and to guard against secondary crashes at accident sites. There was also a recap of the recent TMI exercise, an update of the computer-aided dispatch upgrade in silent dispatch, our move toward being able to text to 911 by next year, and a discussion of the next steps toward the new P25 radio system that we're moving toward in the next number of years. On Thursday, May 11, Commissioner DiFilippo and I attended the most recent drug treatment court graduation, heard the heartwarming stories of several individuals who have had success in beating their habit and are in recovery from the grips of addiction. On Friday, May 12, at the Park Inn in Hampden Township, on behalf of the board, I attended the Office of Aging's Volunteer Recognition Luncheon, where dozens of our county's seniors were recognized for their service to others. State Aging Department Deputy Secretary Terry Barley, our former Director of the Office of Aging here in Cumberland County, was the keynote speaker. Earlier in the week, meanwhile, there was also a rally at the state capitol, attended by many seniors from Cumberland County with respect to their concern about the consolidation of the very small Department of Aging into the new, much larger Department of Human Services. And our chairman of the Aging Advisory Board here in Cumberland County, Rachel McKinney, issued a statement. I'm just going to read some of it, or a little piece of it. She said that I'm concerned that merging the 93 employee State Office of Aging with the overwhelming size of the 17,000 employee Pennsylvania Human Services Agency, along with others, will dilute the effectiveness of our independent local senior centers and divert the lottery funds for other purposes. Politicians should remember that we have real voting clout, and will remember who put us aside or who saves us. We are trusting you take care of your mothers, fathers, and grandparents. You will all be here soon. And let me say that, I don't think that there's any intention with respect to the proposal to divert lottery funds. It's something that I think we're all very concerned about and we want to keep a close eye on. This is Older Americans Month throughout the nation, and the theme this year is aging out loud. So I'm glad that our seniors are our voice in this process with respect to our representative democracy. The Capital Region Council of Governments met Monday night, May 15. We heard two presentations, one from the Tri-County Regional Planning Commission on the Commission's so-called Growth Management Plan. Interesting from that is their projection that within our three counties of Perry, Dauphin, and Cumberland, that by 2040, most of the growth will occur here in Cumberland County. Most of the growth is, I think they were estimating that 67% of all the growth in the three counties will occur in Cumberland County. We already know we're the fastest growing county in the state of Pennsylvania. And these projections kind of bear that out. And at some point, but then I believe it's projected the next decade or so, our population will actually surpass Dauphin County's according to the projections. We also heard at a presentation from Harrisburg attorney Craig Studemeyer on Pennsylvania's right to know law and considerations with respect to the advent of social media and other technology, and I've shared a copy of Attorney Stoudemeier's PowerPoint presentation with my colleagues for their information. I hope at some point it might be something that we will take a look at and review and see where we are with respect to our policies. I know there's a lot of concern with respect to postings on social media. We want to make sure that we have the proper procedures in place, at least I do. And in addition to that, the fact that even text messages are now subject to right to know requests. So we want to make sure we're in compliance with the laws as technology advances. So I'd like to know exactly where we are as a county on that. I've shared and shared at the meeting was a copy of the resolution adopted by the Susquehanna Township Board of Commissioners in support of an independent citizens commission for legislative and congressional redistricting. Susquehanna Township's resolution mirrors the resolution that this board has approved. And I would also like to note for the record that Luzerne County, their county council recently followed our lead in adopting a like resolution calling on the County Commissioners Association and our State General Assembly to support this good government reform. Also, this meeting, CAPCOG adopted a resolution calling on PennDOT to complete all phases of the Capital Beltway Improvement Project, and I've shared that information with Kirk Stoner, Department of Planning, so that we can understand the specifics of what it is that the resolution is talking about. Commissioner DiFilippo and I attended Tuesday morning's meeting of the Cumberland Area Economic Development Corporation. We also attended last night's Municipal Advisory Board meeting, well attended by our municipal partners. Topics of discussion included our efforts aimed at opening an electronics recycling center sometime hopefully next month, and our plans toward the P25 emergency communications system. That's all I've got.
Thank you. Any questions for Commissioner Hertzler? Comments? Thank you, Commissioner Hertzler. Commissioner Eichelberg, are you going to provide a report on beach conditions in Fort George?
No, actually, I've got some more important things to cover here. Briefly, though, on Planning Commission, the Planning Commission meeting that's scheduled for this week was canceled due to a lack of active agenda items. Of course, we have planning issues that come to the board on a regular basis. And I did want to provide a summary of the written comp plan update that Kirk Stoner gave to the commission members in writing. The draft documents for the revised comp plan have been provided to the commission members. Our initial review, June 15, we are expecting to have the survey results from the public input survey. July will be the beginning of public meetings to present the results. September, the revised documents will come to the commissioners for review and adoption later in the year. I also have noted to Kirk to provide us with, I'm assuming he still has the dashboard report that I try to provide every month, and I'll get copies of that to all of you so you can get the periodic update. On recycling, of course, Justin presented at the Municipal Advisory Board last night, as just heard, and unless that you have something more up to date than what I have, he last let our authority members know that mid-June is the target date for opening the center. That's all I have on that front. Now, MHIED is today at noon. Obviously, I can't attend. I'm out of town. Larry, are you planning to attend that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, very good. The topic today is the early intervention update on child care, the child care grant, rather. So that is today. EDC, I was unable to attend since I was leaving town that morning, but Mr. Herzog just briefed you on that. I will be getting a briefing from John Bowser probably later today, so that I'm as up to speed as you guys are. Lastly, the Friday, the LEO board, the local elected official board of the Workforce Investment Board, met our regular meeting in Harrisburg. I have a number of items there, but I'm preparing a written capsule summary of that, and I'll supply that to you all in email. This is very interesting things that the South Central region is doing in terms of the business education partnership grant, and as well as Road to Success project that they're working on in partnership with the United Way of the Capital Region. So I'll provide that later. My last point is, I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend the Municipal Advisory Board. You know, that's an organization that's near and dear to my heart since we began that way back when I first got here. And I'm glad to see that the attendance was good, whether it was my absence or the presence of food or both. I think everybody was much happier with the outcome, myself included. So I would like us to have at some point some discussion on how we can sustain the interest in that. If there's things we're doing that will, whether it's adding food or just topic matter or what. The attendance has been flagging for a while. I'm glad to see it up. I'd like to see if we can have some thoughts on how we can sustain that going forward, because I believe our municipal contact is an extremely important component of what we do here. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Just if I could add to what Commissioner Eichelberger said, I think that, first of all, I received a number of thank yous from the municipal officials in attendance last night for keeping them informed on these issues that we discussed. I know that one of the issues that we had, even though we had a significant majority of our municipalities represented, there were some who were not represented, primarily because they had conflicting, local government municipal meetings. So again, job well done by staff. We had a good, very good turnout. I did want to raise on the issue of the electronics recycling. There was brought to our attention last evening that I guess the last hiccup in this process has something to do with IT and putting together some kind of a system. So I would like to be informed on where we are on that and get that moving as quickly as possible so that we can get this facility up and running by mid-June, which is not too far from now. So I'm not quite sure what Justin was referring to. It has something to do with the system, I guess, with respect to the collection of payments.
Yeah, we're building an application form.
Okay.
Instead of purchasing off the shelf, we're building something from scratch.
Okay. Saving the county.
Correct.
The cost of the off-the-shelf software, which would be 12 or 15,000, I believe.
Correct.
I don't know if it was presented as a hiccup, but it is something, it's what connects the scale to the system that calculates the fees. Yes.
Well, from what I understand, that's the last piece of the puzzle. We got the permit from DEP like the same day, so we're ready to go, I think, with that.
We have a project in place for it, and we're working on it. I think the last we were looking for was to receive the scale so that we can correctly gather the weights from the scale. There's a process to get it at, and we couldn't do that until the scale has arrived, and I don't know if it arrived yet or not.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I would like to add is also last night, we reiterated the fact that this is a potentially short-term solution to this whole problem, that we need to keep our legislators informed because they still need to fix the law. The recycling that we have, it's only good for 1 year. We don't know whether or not the recycler is going to be working for us the following year. So again, this is, I hate for us to be in a situation where, we've now provided a remedy and the legislators all go back to sleep. they need to fix this law. They need to provide a workable law, not like the one they passed in 2010, which is, was intended to protect the environment, now causing damage to our environment. So, we need to keep the legislators' attention on this. I will say that one other thing, and then I'll shut up. Senator Alloway, I saw him on Face the State here this past Sunday. He's planning to put a bill in within the next couple of weeks. And from what I understand from his legislation, it would provide for a fee to be collected at the time customers purchase electronics. The blowback on that, I've already heard, is the retailers may object because they're acting as, collection agents. Bottom line is, we've got to come up with a solution here, and it needs to be more permanent than, the current law. Manufacturer's going to take care of all this. Well, that hasn't worked. So, I've said way too much. Thanks, Gary.
I think what the county is doing is the right thing. We can't wait on the state to fix this, because if we do, it will take forever. I don't know how much control we have over what they do. They apparently aren't doing much, and until something happens, and we don't know when that something will be. I think what we have in place will work.
Just one last point, what we did do in regard to what Commissioner Eichelberger raised from sunny Puerto Rico, we did do things very differently in terms of outreach and promotion. While I still maintain that Commissioner Eichelberger's absence perhaps was the driving factor behind the high attendance, we did do a lot of stuff that we had not done for previous MAB meetings in the past, and I don't mean just food. So now that we have our new communications director here, Rachel Bryce, I am going to ask Rachel to sit down with the principals who were involved in the promotion and to do a summary about what worked, what maybe didn't work as quite as well as expected, and what lessons we learned carrying forward. So Rachel, we promised you a challenge. Welcome on board.
Thank you.
Okay. There is one other item in regard to the event, and that is, I believe there should be some kind of ordinance passed about endangered cookies. Every time one of the commissioners, and I won't mention who, passes by the tray of leftover cookies, approximately 28% of the remaining cookie population disappears without replenishment. So I will leave that to Monday's meeting, at which point it'll be a moot point because all the cookies will be gone.
So, I just want to say I'm completely innocent.
Now there's some interesting stuff. Be that as it may, in regard to the cookies, I accept. Any other questions for Commissioner Eichelberger? All right, thank you, Commissioners. We'll move on to item 10. Report the following executive sessions: May 8th, 2017, 2:15 p.m. May 9th, 2017, 11 a.m. May 12th, 2017, 11:30. All three regarding potential litigation. May 9th, 2017, 11:30. May 11th, 2017 at 12 noon. May 10th, 2017 at 1 p.m. and May 16th, 2017 at 11 a.m. all regarding personnel issues. I'd also like to request an executive session following this regarding personnel issues. As we move on to item 12 and other business, I'm going to recognize Chuck Bear from our adult probation department. Chuck.
Good morning, Commissioner. Thank you for considering the two agreements we have. If I can digress a little bit, when we first got the agreement, the board put in a stipulation that all funds received were to be expended in the current fiscal year. For Cumberland County, we usually did expend all those funds. For some of the smaller counties, they didn't. So the Chiefs Commission petitioned the board to rescind that stipulation in the agreement, which they have, which brings us to the agreement you have today. If I can explain, the grant and aid has always caused a problem with us because it's not a grant in that I have to submit grant paperwork to get the money. It's more or less a budget item, if you will, in the Board of Probation and Parole, which through some formula they have then distribute those funds to the counties for the improvement and betterment of the adult probation office. So it's a grant made, but it's not a grant that I have to actually proposed or to get, put paperwork into it. That money's been going down. The most recent year was $227,000. Those monies go directly into the general fund, and they pay, help offset some of the salaries, benefits of the adult probation office. The other agreement is for the supervision fund. Those monies are actually paid for by the defendants. We charge them a $50 fee for each month they are on supervision. By statute, whenever that money is received, and the month it's received, the clerk of courts has to submit 50% of that money back to the Board of Probation and Parole, which they then send back to us on a semi-annual basis. So that, those monies then are actually technically under the control of the president judge, but also at your scrutiny as that we can. Those funds are used to support 8 full-time probation officers, a half of the administrative staff, also any of our training, equipment, weapons, vests, anything like that to help support the adult probation office. So looking for your approval on those.
All right, any questions for Chuck? Chuck, does any of this cost us anything? Okay. It's an interesting system. All right, is there any other business? Hearing none, we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.